Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
It's time for the Bonnie Sher Show, a whirlwind of wit, wisdom, celebrity, and the boomer life. With a little bit of this and a lot of that and so much more you don't want to miss, here's Bonnie.
And thank you and hello there. Thank you to all of my friends, old and new, for calling in, tuning in, and joining us here today on the Bonnie Sher Show. And as you probably figured out by now, I'm Bonnie Sher, and I am here to be your guide through the world of boomers, of the world of entertainment, and the type 1 diabetes community. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for my super duper theme music. Thank you, Wayne Cobham. Today's guests I have with me today, he's a comedian, he's a playwright, he's a screenwriter, television writer, very, very funny man, and a guest that I especially like having here with me on the Bonnie Sher Show, and that's Brad Slaight. And we also have with us a member of the T1D community, sorry about that, and her name is Natalie Sera. So if you have a question or you have a comment, please call us. The number here is 323-843-2826, or you can follow us on Twitter. That's hashtag BSHER Radio. So let's all settle in and please say hello to my first guest, Brad Slaight.
Oh, please. Oh, my God. This is
See all the people who came in to have a little bit of this?
Wow. They're having a little bit of something else out there, I think. I don't know.
Yes, what we're talking about is the questioning looks that we're getting here in the studio. But that's because they know what's coming. But
hey, you watch it back there. Yes.
You better watch it. I don't see that far. Brad, you are an absolute fascinoma to me. I don't think I have observed anybody in their right mind or not who puts out the amount of work and that work product constantly, every day. Do you take a clever pill when you get up in the morning?
Yes, I do. But that's what I call it. The authorities might call it something else. I don't know.
No, seriously. I'm amazed at all of the different things that you do. I mean,
do a lot of things. Well, that's my attitude in Hollywood. When I came out here, I kind of learned quickly that you really can't survive sometimes doing one thing. So the line I've always used is you have to be like a Hoover vacuum. You have to have a lot of attachments, but you can't suck like a Hoover. But you got to be able to do windows and doors and Windows 10. So and I've also learned that as a writer, I can feed my performance because I don't have to wait for someone else to write me things. If I shoot something with my camera and edit it, like you, I don't have to wait for somebody to make my career decisions. And God, thankful for that. I'll tell you that.
Is there something? I mean, you're motivated by something.
Fear.
Fear,
I'm
hunger.
motivated by the same thing everybody else is motivated out here. Fear.
Yeah, but there's one thing about motivation.
Yes.
And then there is the commitment to actually produce what you claim that you're doing. And I must say, you aren't a claimer, man.
A
You are.
prolific.
You got that too?
I put the lift in prolific. No, you have to be motivated. There are maybe I've met in life 3 people that got ahead because they're just things just happen for them so well. Other people that I've seen that are successful because talent is part of it. But drive and getting your product out there and not waiting for other people to make your decisions. Again, I have a few friends that are still caught in that. Well, I'm waiting for my agent to call. Why don't you go out and beat the bushes and make things happen so your agent negotiates the contracts? That's what I look at my agent for. I don't expect them to make my career happen. It'd be nice if they paid my rent, but they don't. So I get up every day and I go, what can I do to make the world of Brad a little better? Because I don't think anybody else is doing that.
No, that's clearly your
Maybe you.
job.
That
Oh,
is my
well.
job.
Well,
I'm all about the Brad.
Well, yeah, we also know you're about a D also, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah, well, and I've been called a D, but not what you're thinking about.
How do you know what I'm
Well,
sorry.
maybe you
All
were
right,
thinking that
okay,
same
all right, all
thing.
right, all right. This is what happens when I get around somebody like Brad Slaight.
But it's like creative. Like Bonnie, you've been like that your whole career too. You make things happen. And in this world, I just get tired of people complaining about, well, nothing's happening, or something better happen. Make it happen, or find until something does happen. Work on things that you're never not going to get something out of it. If you write a script. Okay, you don't sell it, but you've learned a lot while you were writing it.
In the process of
Yeah.
doing that. Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of fake it till you make it that's involved.
That's what she said.
I never said that. Never.
My girlfriend, I asked her that once. I said, have you ever had a multiple orgasm? Because, you hear about that magic thing that multiple orgasm people talk about. She said, have I ever given you a multiple orgasm? She said, no, I have a hard enough time faking one with you. Forget the multiple part. Just give me one. I'm praying for that. Make that happen, Mr. Prolific.
Leave it to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He'll make that greater, too.
It'll be the best orgasm. I'll have so many orgasms, you'll be bankrupt.
Sorry,
You'll be so tired of all the winning orgasms. And she's having one right now. All right.
God, that was good.
Oh.
Now, not speaking of orgasms, but let's go back to what you got on the back boiler now.
Well, first of all, I'm going to be staying here overnight, if you don't mind, just because of the road construction out there. I
Nice
got a
out
parking
there, isn't
spot.
it? I got high just walking in.
It's like Westwood. If you go into Westwood, you get a parking spot, you're just going to live there for a while. You're not giving that up.
They're doing road construction right in front of the studio today.
That's right.
And to say they are emitting noxious fumes.
And all the people that complain about, potholes, and these roads suck, they're the same ones out there now complaining, oh my God, you're tearing up the roads, the traffic is terrible. You can't win with these people.
Can't win.
No.
Can't win.
What do I have going on? You asked that simple
I
question
did
and we
ask
got
that
derailed.
Yeah, well,
Several projects. I mean, I'm writing another play, but I'm also...
the man is with Samuel French. I love being able to say that.
That's right. Well, I don't know him personally, but he died many years ago. Samuel French is a publishing company that publishes stage plays, and it was a real thrill for me when they published mine because I grew up and I did theater in high school and college.
And didn't we all have
those
those
little
Samuel books?
And
Yes.
now they're mine. Now I have my name on them.
That's a goosebump.
But I also I have an agent who's pretty good. I've been going out on auditions. I'm working this weekend in San Juan Capistrano at a comedy club. And
the name of the comedy club is
Second Stage. It's in San Juan
yeah.
Capistrano. Yeah. They do shows down there. And so I'll be working with some other comedians. Buzz Belmondo, you may not know him, but
I know
he
of
was
him, I don't
out of
know.
this world. He was on Out of This World, and now he's out of work.
There's a lot of that going on.
There is.
But isn't that part of, I mean, I don't know. I've never deemed myself the kind of gal who would hang around for the gold watch after 25 years of doing the same thing. Actually, I never had a choice to do that because I can't type. So I never had a
9 to
job.
5? No, I taught high school for 2 years, and I realized
Did you?
right
You were
out
an educator?
right out of college, and I was like just
What
a
did
few
you
years
teach?
theater, speech, and drama, and English, and I
That
was
makes
like
sense.
3 years older than like some of my students who were seniors, and they were more mature than I was, and it was like doing stand up each class, and I enjoyed it, but I realized what it took to be a great teacher. And I have a lot of respect for them. And I thought, I did a good job, but this isn't what I want to do. And I didn't want to, it frightened me more to know that I'd be doing that 30 years from now, as opposed to not knowing what I was doing tomorrow. And if you're an actor, that's what you're going to get, not knowing what you're doing tomorrow. But there's
But at
something about
least
that.
you're sure of it.
Yeah, I'm sure that nothing may not happen tomorrow. But yeah, a phone call in this business that you and I are in, one phone call can change everything, for the better or for the worse. But it's exciting. It's
Have
a
you ever
roller
been
coaster.
fired from a job?
No, I have not been fired for a job, unless you want me to leave now. No, and it is. It is. It's like show business is like a roller coaster, and some days you scream and you're thrilled, and other days you throw up over everybody, and that's how I've looked at my career.
Yeah, but we still do it.
We still do it.
You know, people would ask me, "Well, why do you do this?"
It
Well,
depends
like
on,
I said, I can't type, and marriage didn't work, and
well, it depends on how they ask that too. It's like, why do you do this, or why do you do this, or why do you do this? It's all in how they ask.
I remember my mother once saying to me, "Bonnie, I don't understand why you want to work in nightclubs." And I said, "Ma, because they don't have day clubs." You know, that she just didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
You know, I can't imagine not wanting to do that. But I was once fired off of a job.
Really?
I
what
thought
did
they
you
were
do?
idiots to hire me in the first place, but of course you don't say that. I got hired, this goes back about maybe 4 years now, to dance on the American Music Awards. First of all, I wanted to say dudes. I did that dancing a long time ago, but no, they wanted me. And the call was a last-minute call, so I grabbed my stuff and I ran downtown for the rehearsal and parked the car and ran in, and they were all starting the rehearsal and sort of acknowledged that I had gotten there, but they knew that they had just called me at the last minute. And I walked in, and the very first words out of my mouth were, "Does anybody have any sugar?" I walked in there, my blood sugar plummeted. I got a call after dancing the entire day. Walked in there like, "Oh, I am so cool." Walked out of there like, "Oh my God." And then they fired me. I was so relieved. I couldn't imagine that I would have to do that. But I think that was the only, and I didn't even think it was my fault. You know, it's not like I went in with the jangling bracelets.
But
or
they asked you
anything.
to come down, then they fired you.
Right.
It'd be different if you were auditioning or something.
No, I thought that was it, but they paid me not to do it, so it was all okay in the end. I don't know why I told that story, but it happened.
Well, if somebody's out there in show business, then Dancing with the Stars, here's your next season. Because those most of those people can't dance either.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. So I want to know this. I want to know if there's something that you have had, maybe brewing or rumbling around in your brain, something you've never done, but either if you could figure out the way or for whatever the reason that's kept you back, is there something that's just been a part of you that you'd like to push through?
You mean in show business land?
In life
there
and
is,
show business, or they're one of the same?
You know, I've written this play, and it's kind of like my Leaves of Grass of Walt Whitman, and I'm not smoking it either, like Walt did. Where it's called L.A. River Anthology, and it's a parody of Spoon River Anthology, which is Edgar Lee Masters' famous thing where all these little poems speaking from the grave of people in this town of Spoon River. And I wrote it, and it's all about people in the Hollywood cemetery. And it's the one night of the year of the award ceremony. They all come out of the ground to tell their stories. But, basically to come out and bitch. It's like a cocktail party. And it started out just to be a comedy, but there's a lot of pathos in it. There's a lot of... So I'd like to get that. I've had a couple of stage readings that were well received, but, it's a big undertaking to get a theater, to get all that motion going, bring audiences in. As a performer in show business, you're tired of asking your friends to come see your work. I had written a couple of one-acts that I put up at a theater and got great reviews and everything, but it's just such a monumental thing. So I'm waiting for that theater that already has a subscription service that, because I think this play could be like the old Bleacher Bums. Remember that the show that was on that went on forever? And this show, because it has such a connection to this city, and I'd also love to do it over in the Hollywood Lawn Cemetery over there, where they show movies, and make it live, because it has more than just funny little gags. It has some real voices speaking about this business, humorous, but also sometimes pathos.
I think that's the mark of a great piece.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for the right situation for that to happen. In the meantime, I do the 1 Minute News Hour.
Oh, do you all know about the 1 Minute News Hour? Well, I thought you'd ask me this, so we're prepared to show you Brad Slaight's 1 Minute News Hour. Cue that up for us, please.
And now, the 1 Minute News Hour with Brad Slaight.
iPhone SE, which has a smaller 4-inch screen. Of course, when men buy it, they'll tell women that the screen is 8 inches. John Boehner called Ted Cruz Lucifer in the flesh. Cruz responded by sticking him in the ass with his pitchfork. My friends in Colorado, really looking forward to eating lots of turkey pot pie. A new app has been developed that will tell you if your partner is on Tinder. This replaces the old way of finding out, catching him in bed with someone. The recent passing of 3 iconic celebrities: Abe Vigoda, George Kennedy, and Chris Christie's last remaining shred of dignity. All right, turn the color back on, please. However, Trump said he lacks 2 very important things: big tits. Target announced they will now allow transgendered employees and customers to use the restrooms they're most comfortable with. Walmart one-upped them by doing the same thing, but having a greeter in each stall. Join us next time for the 1 Minute News Hour, because when news breaks,
He glues that shit back together.
I glue that shit back together. That's my line. Thank you. Some Walmart greeters out here tonight.
I love his work. While we're right here and you've just seen this, Brad, tell everybody how they can see more and where you...
I'm on Funny or Die. All of the previous episodes, I don't know, I got about 20 so far. I don't do them every week or every day, but when the muse hits me, on Funny or Die, just look for the 1 Minute News Hour or Brad Slaight, and they should come up. You can see all of them.
I've seen a couple of them, well, more than a couple of them. I've seen quite a number of them now, and
but it's good because
I look forward to them. I gotta tell you, I look forward to
I wanted to create something that was real fast, because especially if I put it up on Facebook or Twitter, or people don't have a real long attention span anymore.
Really?
It's like, they'll look at a picture, they'll click like on something, but to sit and actually watch a video, unless it's a cat, clawing their owner to death, and they'll watch that, but.
I actually have had that same thought. Maybe if I would get more action on my diabetes work if I let a cat tell the story.
That's right.
Children, not so much anymore, but just give me this sorrowful little mushy cat. Anyway, while we're on the subject of how to follow you and know about you, where else can people be looking?
BradSlaight.com is my website. There's
SLAIGHT.
I should have just kept it SLATE, but it sounded like a porn name, and I just thought.
Well, hello, my last name is Sher. Do you know how many people want to spell it SHER? SHARE, and it's like, no, I don't.
Or CHER.
Yeah, well, that has happened, as a matter of fact. Are you the real Sher? Well, I'm pretty real.
We share and share alike.
That was the problem with it.
But I also have, I created another thing, just 2 episodes of that so far, or 3, I think, of Jim and Marge talk back to the news. And it's an old Republican couple sitting on the couch bitching about the news. And I play all the parts. I play Jim and Marge.
Yes,
which,
I've seen that also.
Yeah,
They're
that's
quite
unfriendly.
wonderful.
So, again, if you're an actor, don't wait for somebody to create something for yourself. Get a camera. They're very cheap now. You can do it with your iPhone. I shot one short film with an iPhone. And put yourself out there. Media now, new media, that's what everybody's going to. It's like comedians, all the industry used to come to the clubs to see them. Now it's like, well, send me a link.
Right.
And what kind of following do you have? It's people are so there's if I had these tools back when I started stand up, who knows how many hours of material I could bore people with. Now it's just 1 minute at a time.
I look forward to those minutes because they're pretty special to me. Brad, as always, it's a real pleasure to have you here on the show with me. I want you back more and more and more and more and more. And
I'm available tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow's Friday, and
that's a line from Harvey. Remember that? In LWP Dowd, they said, "Well, maybe we should do lunch sometime." They're trying to blow him off, and he goes, "How about tomorrow?" I know. I don't really.
I loved him too, but I adore you, and I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
I would travel on deconstructed Gower Avenue for miles to be with you.
Don't you just love
They want my parking spot. That's the only reason they're cheering.
And they can have it in just a few minutes. But let me catch myself back up here before we go to break. I have a tune that I would like to share. You are listening to The Bonnie Sher Show. To be a part of it, please call us at 323-843-2826, or you can follow us on Twitter at hashtag BSHER Radio. Coming up, a shout out from my soapbox, which is my take on who's to be congratulated, and my shout down, which is speaking on who should absolutely be embarrassed. So let's go to break now with one of truly my favorite tunes, sung by the woman who made me want to be a singer and singing something that's very close to my heart. And so what we are going to be listening to is Judy Garland, Once in a Lifetime. Take it away.
Just once in a lifetime, there's one special moment, one wonderful moment, when fate takes your hand, and this is my moment. My once in a lifetime, when I can explore a new and exciting land. For once in my lifetime, I feel like a giant. I soar like an eagle, as though I had wings. This is my moment, my once in a lifetime. And though it may be just once in my lifetime, I'm gonna do great things.
Just once in a lifetime. Well, I hated to end that segment, but it is time to say hello to my next guest, who is hopefully on Skype waiting to say hello to me. Oh, I love it when a plan gets together. Okay, so here's the news. We have with us today a member of the type 1 diabetes community from the great state of Nevada, and her name is Natalie Sera. Hello, Natalie. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. What's happening in Nevada? Oh, I love it when a plan gets together. Okay, so here's the news. We have with us today a member of the type 1. Natalie, I need you to turn your volume down just a skosh for us, please.
Just 1 second. Let me figure out how.
Natalie Sera.
Is that better?
A little bit more, if possible.
Let me see. I'm not sure how I'm doing this. Oh, I know. Wait a second. That's muted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You've got me?
We do. Is that better? Okay, that's good for us now, too. Thanks for helping through that, Natalie. So let's go back to the beginning. Hello, Natalie! Natalie, I know that you're a type 1 diabetic. Could you please share your story with us?
Oh, I know. Wait a second. That's muted. I've got a lag, so I'm having trouble.
Are we going to call her back? Okay, Natalie, we're going to have to let you go, and we will call you right back. Help through that, Natalie. So let's go back to the beginning. Hello, Natalie!
Hi, Bonnie.
Where are we now? Are we having? I see our engineer Jarvis shaking his head. Are we going to need to start again, Jarvis? Story with us. I'm hearing that echo back too.
I've got a lag.
Well, for some reason we're having difficulty. We've got now 4 men in the studio with me, all working on this problem. So bear with us a minute while we straighten this out. I wish I knew a funny story to tell, but to see the 3 of them trying to figure this out is pretty funny. I'm hearing that echo back too. Are you, Natalie, are you listening to the show?
Yes.
Okay,
Shall I turn that off?
Yeah, you got to log off of that.
Okay.
That's the
turn that off.
problem. They're brilliant, these men here. Mwah, 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 mwah.
Okay. Have you got me now?
Oh, have I got you now? All right. Now, the 3rd time is the charm, Natalie. Natalie, my name is Bonnie Sher. I have diabetes. What about you?
Well, I unfortunately have diabetes also, but my story is a little different from yours.
Please share it. Go ahead.
Well, I was diagnosed as a type 2 when I was 44, and they put me on sulfonylureas, and the sulfonylureas didn't work, so I begged for insulin because I was not doing well. Went on insulin. It worked like a charm. And to make a long story short, years later, I omitted insulin, and I almost killed myself, and the CDE and the hospital said, you are a type 1. Under no circumstances are you to allow anybody to treat you as a type 2.
Oh, wait, let me ask you a question. When you said that you stopped the insulin, this was by your choice, or this was something the doctor told you to do?
No, I did it myself.
And what was the thinking behind that?
Because I was thinking, well, if I'm a type 2, I shouldn't have to take insulin.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is based on really poor diagnostic abilities. You went along with what the professionals told you.
Yes.
And based upon that, you then being a brave woman, took it to, okay, I understand better now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Well, I'm still alive. That's the
Well,
good
we're
part.
happy about that. So, how did it come to light what the situation was?
Well, when you emit insulin and you almost die, and the hospitalist decides that he should treat you with type 2 protocols and they can't get your blood sugar down, the CDE fought with him to put me on type 1 protocols, whereupon my blood sugar came down and I started to recover. And that's going to lead me into another topic, which is as type 1s, and particularly diagnosed as adults, there's a lot of struggle to get the medical professionals, the insurance companies, and Medicare to give us proper treatment.
I can understand that. What do you find is the biggest hurdle you've had to face, or some of the larger ones? Can you
Right
give us
now,
an example? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, I was going to say right now I'm facing the biggest hurdle that I've had to face, which is up until I went on Medicare, I had really good insurance, so I was able to get a pump. I had no problem getting my supplies for the pump. I was able to get a CGM, which in my case is crucially important because I have hypoglycemia unawareness, and I don't feel my hypos until I'm in the 40s and low 50s, and I live alone, and that's just way too dangerous an area to be in when there's nobody to help you if you get too confused to treat yourself. My insurance changed as of January 1st, and as you know, Medicare does not cover CGMs. And my new insurance doesn't have a supplier for Dexcom.
You mean your secondary insurance?
My secondary does not have a supplier for the CGM that I use. And it's the only one that I feel is sufficiently...
Well, there are only two that I can think of.
Right.
Bottom line, I've used both. Clearly, I have a favored, but it just seems to me it's another stall. I mean, there's absolutely, that goes back to that ridiculous argument where they said, well, they didn't know how to code it properly. These are all stalls, and these are all affecting. I am very much like you are, Natalie, in that for me now, after 49 years, I, for all intents and purposes, don't notice my lows until about the 40s also. I also live alone, and it's terrifying. And now the only alternative for me, if I want to have that kind of peace of mind, if you will, through the night, is to go out of pocket, and that's about 10 grand. And that's now on top of, I don't know about you, but I never had to pay a copay to Medtronic for my pump supplies. They now have hit me for 20% on that. Medications in the last couple of months through United Healthcare. I have one that I was paying a copay of, I think, $20 for a generic. Then it went to $47 for the copay. Then they didn't want to give me as many tablets per month. They said I didn't need any more. But if I wanted them, I could buy them at rack rate, at the regular rate.
Yeah.
And so in the last 60 days, it has gone from costing me $20 a month to $120 a month. I don't understand what can be done, what we can all perhaps, we do have a voice. Do we all have to go and march on Washington? Or where do we go? I first of all, I'm still trying to figure out why we even have insurance. It doesn't make any sense. Healthcare, yes. Insurance, I don't get that at all. So what can you do to make your life medically as safe as you can possibly be?
Well, the upshot of my story is that I could find absolutely no way to get the sensors that I need except to pay out of pocket. And then the secondary said they would reimburse me what will turn out to be 76%. You know how much they cost. How long does it take insurance to reimburse
That
you?
was going to be the next thing. I mean, is it going to be in this millennium?
I don't know. So I am investigating the possibility of a diabetes alert dog. I have no idea whether this is actually going to work out or not, but I figured it doesn't hurt to investigate it. And the second thing is I'm filing an appeal with Medicare.
Good for you.
Because for me, this is medically necessary. It's
Absolutely.
not adjunct.
Well, it's I'm sorry, but my feeling is it's medically necessary for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
How do you turn, I mean, it's like, oh, well, we can only give you penicillin if you jump on one foot and we like you. No, you
Right.
don't get to determine, and especially a bunch of non-medical people.
Mm-hmm.
They have a drug czar. Why don't we have a diabetes czar? I know who
Right.
I'd nominate right away.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because there are a number of people who are working very hard to get Medicare to cover CGMs. And there has been some progress made in terms of several people have appealed it. And a judge very recently handed down a ruling that this is not
Yes,
precautionary or adjunctive, but medically necessary for type 1 diabetics in particular, but medically necessary for anybody who is in danger on account of, say, low blood sugars.
which, I mean, the fact of the matter is that includes each and every one of us. As you well know, one unit of insulin can make that happen. One extra unit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fascinating to me also that the drug that keeps us alive can also kill us so very quickly.
You're absolutely right.
And with the CGM, I know that at any given time I can take a peek and know not only what my blood sugar is, but how did it get there? Is it going up in pattern? Is it coming
Mm-hmm.
down? I'm addicted to it.
Gee.
And now they're trying to take it away from me. So I am one of those crazies who is working as hard as I can, and along with an organization who I, again, must shout out to, and that's to DPAC.
I was going to mention that.
They are, between Christelle and Bennett, they are angels on our diabetic planet. And I really, I thank them, and I hope that more people will find out about them and jump on their train, because they make it so easy. As you've seen, Natalie, they'll put up the exact way to reach your representative and exactly what to say to them. So, yay to them, too. So tell me, what do you do to make yourself feel better when you're just having a grumpy tea one day? I would imagine you've had one or two in your life.
Only occasionally. I do a whole lot of other things. But when I'm having a bad blood sugar day, I end up getting pretty obsessed about trying to get my blood sugar in range. And I tend to withdraw into myself, which is not necessarily a good thing to do. But it's like I become afraid to go out and experience life because I'm so afraid that something's going to happen. That's where the CGM helps me so much.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not afraid that I'll be out driving on the freeway and end up having a low.
Right.
And that actually happened to me once, but I was driving, I parked the car, I stepped out of the car, and this low hit me just immediately, stumbled into the house where I was volunteering. Another friend of mine who has type 1 diabetes was there, and I said, Louise, I'm low. I don't have my meter with me. I don't have any glucose treatments. I don't have anything. And Louise jumped into action. She tested me on her meter, got me something to bring my blood sugar up. Later on, when I got home, and this was before CGM, but later on when I got home, I looked at my purse. everything was there, and I couldn't remember they were there. So I find that terrifying.
If there are people listening who do not have type 1 diabetes, just to try and explain what that feeling is, it's tough, because I do believe it takes a T1 to know a T1, but I remember one particular low, and I knew I wasn't coming out of it, and I had decided that was it. I was probably going to die right here. And then a part of my brain said, well, you can call those emergency people. Oh, yeah. Now, what's their number again?
Yeah.
I couldn't come up with 911 to save my life. Oh, literally to save my life. And so, when people talk about having low blood sugars, this is not saying, yay, this means I get to eat a Hershey bar. This is terrifying business.
Right.
Is there ever a time when you're not, I know, like, what if I can't come out of it? What if I can't come out of it? It's terrifying. And to know that there is this apparatus, if you will, that allows us to track that and and save our own lives. We don't even need to go to the doctor so much, so we can pay us there.
Yeah.
I can't understand the public policy decision or lack thereof, but I can only hope that in November we will be able to vote in a Congress who will be far more understanding. The idea of now taking away all of the wonderful things that were put in place with Obamacare, whether or not you love every faction of it, it in fact gave us something that we've never had before, and that was the ability to be insured. I underwent quadruple bypass insurance without insurance.
Ooh.
So I danced, when they included that. And my friend, we're going to have to be dancing again. So stay with me. Let's do what we can to keep our voices heard. And people like yourself who do have such a great grasp can be a part of this, and so can all of us. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us today. And you take good care of yourself. You're a wonderful, wonderful friend and of AT1. So thanks. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Natalie, for coming in with us today. And by the way, if you are a type 1 diabetic and you would like to be a co-host on the Bonnie Sher Show, it's very easy. Just write me at bonniesher.com. And it's really that easy, and I'll hook you up, and you'll be here with us. And I'm looking forward to hearing from one of you by the end of today, at least one of you. Okay, I do hate to end this segment, but it's time for my shout out and my shout down. My shout out goes to New York Governor Andrew Cuomo for signing the executive order against what is known as BDS, and that is the anti-Israeli boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. Amazing. Cuomo said, I'll always be a New Yorker. Cuomo said that New York is Israel's true friend. And to quote him, he says, and it's very simple. If you boycott against Israel, New York will boycott you. If you divert revenues from Israel, New York will divert revenues from you. If you sanction Israel, New York will sanction you. Period. Cuomo did go on to say that there are members of the Democratic Party who are being critical of Israel as being the aspects, are being truly disproportionate in its response. So let's hope that I think there are 21 states now that have legislation against this, although I believe that the only governor is the governor of New York. So let's hope for more of that. Now, my shout down. How do I even say this? Shame on Santa Clara Superior Court Judge Aaron Persky for ruling a ridiculously lenient sentence for behavior that is unconscionable. His ruling was unconscionable. The 3 counts of sexual assault by a 20-year-old guy. I mean, and then Persky said, oh, well, giving him a very long prison term it would just have such a severe impact on Brock Allen Turner's life. Well, the first question I have would be, what about the impact that it's had on this young woman? Is she ever going to have a day where she's not impacted? And from what I heard today, his 6-month sentence has now been lessened to a 3-month sentence for what? Good behavior. So he'll be out on September 1st. Already, there have been over 300,000 signatures have been made or put down onto the Change.org campaign to oust Persky. Now, if you have an opinion, please visit my site and my blog at bonniesher.com/blog. I can't even talk now and sound off. Well, that's our show. And I hope you'll return next week for another 50 minutes of the world of entertainment, the world of boomers, and the community of type 1 diabetics. Until then, please visit bonniesher.com. We keep that filled with lots of good content. Follow the number 1 Bonnie Sher on Twitter. And if you would, please like my Facebook fan page, Bonnie Sings Lena. I again want to thank today's guests for sharing the ride. And a note of thanks to Corey Bone of Crown and Anchor Jewelry for outfitting me today with this beautiful freshwater pearl with 2 sapphire beads, all hand-wired in 14-karat gold. You can find out more about Corey by going to bonniesher.com. Drop down to the bottom. You'll see the link, and you'll see Corey. Now, for my friends old and new, most of you already know that Sammy Davis Jr. has had a magical influence on my life. He was my mentor. He was my friend. He taught me life lessons, music lessons, and don't ever be stupid again lessons. So if by chance there are speakers up in heaven, then Sammy, man, this one's for you. Take us out.
Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong, whether I find a place in this world or never belong, I gotta be me. I gotta be me. What else can I be but what keeps me alive. I gotta be me. I gotta be me. The dream that I see makes me what I am. That faraway prize, a world of success, is waiting for me if I heed the call. I won't settle down, won't settle for less, as long as there's a chance that I can have it all. I'll go it alone, that's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me. I gotta be free. I've gotta be free. Daring to try to do it or die. I've gotta be me. I'll go it alone. That's how it must be. I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me.